Hello students, welcome to my channel iSmile Academy. Today we will be doing semiconductor part 6. The first question, in NPN transistor the collector current is 10 milliampere. If 90% of electrons emitted reach the collector, then. So here what we are given is the collector current is given, and it's also given that 90% of the total current it reaches the collector. So out of these four options, which one is correct? So IC is given, it is 10 milliampere, and the current equation is IE, emitter current, is equal to base current plus collector current. So total current is the emitter current, whether it is NPN or PNP transistor, and it is given that 90% of total current, which is IE, is equal to IC. So 90% means 0.9, 90 divided by 100, so 0.9 IE equal to IC, which is 10 milliampere. So IE becomes 10 milliampere divided by 0.9. If we calculate this, we will get 11.1 milliampere. Okay, so we'll see the options. So here we are given 11.1 milliampere. Okay, now first option is incorrect because we already got emitter current as 11.1. Now base current, because collector current, emitter current is 11.1 and collector is 10, so it would be 1.1. So the base current is actually 1.1. So C and D are also incorrect. So the correct answer is the second one, emitter current will be 11.1 milliampere. So the second question, if L1, L2, L3 are the lengths of emitter, base and collector of a transistor, then which is true out of these four? So see students, whether we have a NPN or PNP transistor, these things are true for both the transistor. The size, so the size of emitter, base and collector are such that collector is the largest in size, base is the smallest one, and emitter is medium size. So collector is the largest and base is the smallest one, and emitter, the size of emitter is larger than base and lesser than collector. And regarding the doping is not asked, but we must understand this concept also. Doping means number of impurity. Okay, so emitter is highest dope, so number of impurity in emitter is very large, so it is highest. Doping is highest in emitter, moderate in collector, and least in base. So based on this size, what the answer would be here? The answer would be here, L3 is collector, so L3 is larger than L1. L1 is emitter, okay, length of the emitter, which is larger than L2, so which is base. So this answer D is correct. Okay. Number 3, what will be the input of A and B for the Boolean expression? This is the Boolean expression which we are given, okay, for which output is 0. Okay, so there are two ways of doing this, or maybe some more ways, but the most simplest is we just go on putting this value of A and B 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. So for a particular combination for which we get 0, that is the answer. Okay, another way of doing is by using Boolean algebra. Okay, Boolean algebra concept. So here we want this A or plus means or, dot means and. So A or B, A and B, the whole bar equal to 0. So what will the inputs A and B? So we go from this part we solve. Okay, so here A dot B, we can open the bracket, this A plus B we can open. So what we get, this A B goes inside and multiplies with A, so we get AAB. Okay, then AB goes inside and multiplies with B, so we have BAB. So in Boolean algebra, A dot A is A and B dot B is B, so we have AB plus AB. And in case of Boolean algebra, A plus A is A, same way AB plus AB is AB, so we get AB the whole bar. Now AB the whole bar is same as NAND gate, output of a NAND gate. Okay, A dot B is AND, and A dot B the whole bar is NAND, and output of NAND gate is 0 if and only if both the inputs are 1. So this one, the given problem which is given here, so this output of this is 1, inputs are 1 1. Okay, this is the only combination for which output becomes 0. So here the solution is this one. Okay, so what inputs give the output of NAND gate as 0? Both the inputs are 1 1. So here the answer is 1 1. Next question, for a transistor, the current amplification factor is 0.8. The transistor is connected in common emitter mode, CE mode configuration. The change in the collector current when the emitter current changes by 6 milliampere is. So what we are given is, we are given a current gain. Now this is 0.8 is given. So there are two types of current gains in transistor, alpha and beta. So 0.8 is alpha, because whatever current gain which is less than 1 is always alpha, and one which is very large, maybe 50, 100 or more than 1, it is always beta. So we are given alpha, okay, and we are given delta IE, okay, we want to find delta IC, okay. So see, alpha is given 0.8, delta IE is given 6 milliampere, we need to find delta IC. So alpha is delta IC is alpha times delta IE. So if we multiply them, it is 0.8 into 6, okay, so we get 4.8 milliampere. So this is how delta IC is 4.8 milliampere. So this is the answer. Next, in the case of constants alpha and beta of a transistor, these things are given to us. So which is true? Alpha and beta are constants, they are the current gains, okay. So remember students, the value of alpha is always less than 1 and beta is always greater than 1, okay. It might go to maybe 50, 100 also sometimes, okay. So beta is far greater than 1 and alpha is always less than 1. And if we are given beta, we can find alpha by this formula, alpha equal to beta upon 1 plus beta. And if we are given alpha, we can find beta by this formula, okay. So you must know these formulas, okay. This is the case. So the answer is 1, okay. Next, number 6. At 0 degree Kelvin, a piece of germanium, okay. Now see, germanium is a semiconductor, okay. 0 degree Kelvin means minus 273 degrees Celsius. So when a germanium is cooled or any other semiconductor is cooled up to 0 degree Kelvin, it becomes an insulator, or it becomes a, we can say, a bad conductor, okay. So this is the answer. Whether it is a germanium, silicon or any other semiconductor, it becomes a bad conductor or it becomes an insulator. Number 7. A change of 8 milliampere in the emitter current brings a change of 7.9 milliampere in collector current. Find the values of alpha and beta. So we are given two parameters. One is delta IE and other is delta IC. We need to find alpha, beta, both the gains we need to find, okay. So alpha is delta IC upon delta IE. So delta IC is 7.9 and delta IE is 8. So if we divide, we get 0.99. And previously we saw that beta is alpha upon 1 minus alpha. So 0.99 upon 1 minus 0.9, and we do the calculation, we get it as 99, okay. So the answer in this case is 0.99 and 99. This is the answer, number 7. Next, number 8. The following configuration of gate is given. So this is equivalent to what? Okay, what is this? Whether it represents the AND gate, XOR gate, OR gate, or NOR gate, that we have to find. So we'll see this here. We are given, okay, this is the combination. So because there are two inputs, so with two inputs we can have 4 combinations, okay. The 4 combinations 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1 1 0 0 1 1 1, okay. So first we give input as 0 0. Let us take both the inputs are 0 0. So this is also 0 and this is also 0, okay. For 0 0, output of OR becomes 0. But for NAND gate is, even if a single input is 0, output becomes 1. So this is 1, and this 0 1, it goes to AND gate. The rule for AND gate is, even if a single input is 0, output becomes 0. So this becomes 0, okay. So for first combination we get 0 0, we get 0, okay. So this is 0. Now next, this is 1, this is 0, okay. So for the second combination, OR gate, even if a single input is 1, output becomes 1. And for NAND gate, even a single input becomes 0, output becomes 1. And here both the inputs are 1. For AND gate, output becomes 1, okay. So in the second case, output is 1, okay. So this is 1. The same is for 0 1 also. You can check it for 0 1 also. You will get the same thing as previously. This is 1, this is 1. So output is 1, okay. So in the third case also we get output as 1. Now we are interested in the last case. This is 1 1. Both are 1 1. When both are 1 1, this is 1, but NAND output, when both the inputs are 1, it becomes 0. Okay, so any input is 0 for AND gate, output becomes 0. So this is what we get. Okay, now you can check this output 0 1 1 0. Okay, this is for XOR gate. So XOR gate is output is high when odd number of inputs are high. So this is this gate represents a XOR gate. Okay, so this combination represents the XOR gate. So this is the answer. Okay students, that's all for today. Please revise it properly. Okay, all the best. Thanks for watching.